You know, we're surrounded by stories. Every single day. We tell them, we read them, we watch them. But have you ever stopped to think about where we draw the line between what's real and what's, well, made up? That's what we're going to dig into today. What we really mean when we talk about truth and lies in all these stories we love.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. Is fiction just a really good lie? I mean, it's easy to think of it that way, right? You've got made-up stories on one side, and then you have the cold, hard facts of nonfiction on the other. But, as you're about to see, the real relationship between a good story and the truth, well, it's way more interesting and a whole lot messier than that.
All right, first up, let's talk about fiction. We usually define it by what it's not. You know, it's not real, it's not true, but I think it's time we move past that. Let's actually explore what fiction is trying to do.
See, fiction isn't just about making things up for the fun of it. It's an incredible craft. It's the deliberate use of imagination to wrestle with some of the biggest parts of being human. Our emotions, tough moral choices, all of it. It's like reshaping reality just a little bit so we can see ourselves and our world more clearly. It's imagination as a powerful tool for discovery.
And that discovery, man, it takes so many different shapes. You've got the huge, sprawling world of a novel, the laser focus of a short story, the moral lesson of a fable. Fiction is this incredibly broad and flexible thing. Each of these formats is just a different kind of container for telling a story.
And here's the other thing. Fiction has never just stood still. It's always changing, always evolving right along with us. You go from ancient epics about gods and heroes all the way to postmodern novels that make you question what reality even is. Every single era finds new ways to tell stories that reflect what we're thinking about society, ourselves, everything. To make this a bit more concrete, just look at these three. Realism is all about trying to capture life exactly as it is, warts and all. Romanticism, on the other hand, puts emotion and imagination front and center. And then you've got Gothic fiction, which uses all that spooky, mysterious stuff to explore our deepest anxieties. Three totally different goals, all happening under that big umbrella of fiction.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures a massive shift in storytelling. With modernism, the camera basically turned inward. Instead of just telling you what happened, writers like Virginia Woolf started trying to show you the messy, chaotic, subjective experience inside a character's head. The story became about consciousness itself. Okay, so let's flip the coin. Let's talk about nonfiction. It's so easy to think of it as just the facts, but I want you to focus on that word, art, because presenting reality, that's a carefully crafted process too.
So here's the key thing to get about nonfiction. It's not a data dump. Sure, it's grounded in what actually happened, but a writer still has to make choices. They use narrative structure, persuasive language, and their own style to shape how we understand those facts. They're turning raw information into a coherent story.
And yep, just like fiction, nonfiction is this incredibly diverse world. You've got everything from the deeply personal reflections in a memoir all the way to the public arguments you see in journalism and essays. They're all trying to show us something about reality, but they all go about it in very different ways.
And here's a perfect example of what I mean. An autobiography, right? It tries to tell the whole story from birth till now, A to Z. But a memoir zooms in. It focuses on a specific time or a specific theme that defined a person's life. The scope is totally different, even though they're both telling a true story about a person's life. Okay, so we've looked at fiction and nonfiction in their own corners. But now we get to the really fun part. This is where those nice, neat lines we've drawn start to get really, really blurry.
This is the classic way we all learn to think about it, right? Fiction is made up, so it's false. Nonfiction is based on facts, so it's true. It's simple, it's clean, and honestly, it's just not the whole picture.
The reality is much more like this. It's a spectrum, a continuum. Think about it. Both genres use storytelling to make a point. Fiction borrows from real life all the time, and nonfiction uses artistry to make facts compelling. They aren't opposites. They're just different points on the same line of human storytelling. And you can see this so clearly in authors who were brilliant at both. George Orwell gave us a terrifying fictional allegory in Animal Farm to show us the dangers of totalitarianism, but he also wrote these incredibly powerful nonfiction essays about politics. Virginia Woolf wrote those mind-bending modernist novels, and she wrote game-changing feminist essays. They just picked the best tool for the job.
So why are we talking about all this? Why does it even matter? Well, because understanding this whole continuum thing, it completely changes how we read everything.
It shows us that fiction and nonfiction are both ways of creating knowledge.
They are two different but equally important toolkits for trying to make sense of this wild, complicated world we live in. One isn't truer than the other. They just give us different kinds of truth.
So what does this mean for you, for me, as readers? It means we get to be more curious, more critical. It means recognizing that every single story, whether it's a fantasy novel or a news article, is shaped by a point of view. It means asking questions about who's telling the story. It means appreciating the incredible skill it takes to tell a story well, whether it's real or not.
So I want to leave you with this thought. Next time you pick up a book or watch a movie or read an article, maybe the question to ask isn't just, is this factually true? Maybe the better question is, what kind of truth is this story trying to show me?